in a particular state, in the privacy of their own home, raise and smoke marijuana.
Yeah, no.
I challenge anyone to show me where in the Constitution you can do that.
Absolutely, and it's just well, basically the laws, like in California, they bust medical marijuana drugstores and doctors, and of course they can have prescription. It's illegal to have prescription marijuana according to the federal government, and this is Obama running in there and doing it. And instead of leaving the people away alone who are in pain of some sort or the other. But you can get codeine, you can get heroin, you can get all these other real heavy drugs all you want with a prescription, but not that evil weed marijuana.
I always wondered how, in places like California where you have legalized medical marijuana, how when you have federal police officer prosecutors, are they really proud of what they do at the end of the day? I mean, leaving aside whether they have legal status, whether they're going to be fired or demoted for, going after marijuana, they really feel good about themselves going after people with advanced cancer who are using this stuff to help them get down food or avoid continual vomiting? Do they go home and look at themselves in the mirror and are proud of what they do at the end of the day? I have a hard time believing that they are, and if they are, they really have not thought through this very well.
Yeah. Okay, caller, does that give you some insight? Okay, thank you. He says yes.
Good. Well, that's appreciate it.
Okay, Steve, back to the basically, it seems to me the government is the enemy of the people on this one. But we'll talk about that briefly. We have a couple of phones still. You want to take another one?
Please.
Okay, caller, thank you for waiting.
Good morning. I was wondering, if you want to legalize marijuana, what would your parameters be? I mean, how would you be able to get it? What age would you need to be? I mean, would you keep it similar to tobacco, or do you want to make it more like alcohol, or... How would you be able to get marijuana if you legalized it?
Sure. Well, madam, it's very simple, but I'll let Steve tell you.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm guessing Reed and I have the same approach. Yeah, I would have the age at 18. I'd sell it, just like you sell any other products, probably at Walmart. And one thing Walmart, the product's going to be cheap. It's going to be healthy. It's going to be standardized. You're not going to be supporting crime when you buy it. So sure, like any other product, I mean, if you want to have an age limit, I'm not opposed to that. But, I mean, it should be the age of legal adulthood, 18. Sure. So, I mean, I would sell it just like any other product. And I can guarantee you the biggest problem the drug cartels would have, the biggest competitor they don't want to face, it's not the federal government, it's not other cartels, it's Walmart. Because Walmart's going to drive them out of business in a matter of days. Because when Walmart starts selling it, it's going to be safe, it's going to be available 24 hours a day, and it's going to be cheap.
Much cheaper. The criminal element makes a bundle on this.
Okay, one other question. Going more on towards of alcohol, are you opposed or for lowering the age to 18, or do you think it should stay at 21?
I'm absolutely for lowering the age to 18. There is no reason that legal adults should have their liberty stripped away just because the government has some goal in terms of saving lives or promoting health. If you're 18, you're a legal adult, you own your own body, you should be allowed to put whatever you want in it. That's true whether or not you're using whether you're having tattoos, whether you're having piercing, whether you're engaged in sexual acts, or whether you're drinking alcohol. It's your body.
And incidentally, you've got teenagers, 18, 19, 20 people serving in the armed forces who have their finger on the nuclear weapon. They could start a nuclear war. These people can't have a beer with their dinner at the mess. They come home, they can't go to a nice French restaurant and have a glass of wine. Does this make sense?
It makes absolutely no sense. And not only can they be asked to kill people for the government, they can become parents, they can get married, they can enter contracts, they can make serious, significant medical decisions regarding their health. They can mark up or change their body in various ways. But suddenly when it comes to drugs or alcohol, they're childlike. I mean, the argument is that you're going to save lives. There's lots of ways we can save lives. Promoting liberty sometimes has costs in terms of either money or lives.
Thank you, caller. We have another couple of calls. You want to take
Sure,
them?
please.
We're running now a little on time. Good morning, caller. Hello. Lost them. They just couldn't take it. Incidentally, for your information, this is the truth. I do not smoke marijuana. I've never smoked marijuana. I tested it a little bit when I was in college, like everybody else does, but I didn't inhale.
I haven't smoked in a few years, but I'm not opposed to it. I think it's fun. I mean, to be honest with you, mostly it's because I've been focusing on my running, but No, I think it's fun. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I don't see what the problem is. And the fact that it's illegal is not enough to show that you shouldn't do it.
Okay, we got a caller back. Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Hey, good morning. I got a question now. Never into drugs. I mean, what's the kick of marijuana? I mean, what's it actually do to you? Does it send you off into another world?
Doesn't make you crazy, that's for sure. Like the do-gooders want to make you think.
It doesn't do like LSD and all that stuff I've heard about. I mean, what's it actually do to your body? I mean, that it's so exciting to have.
I find it puts you in a good mood. It seems to be pleasant. I mean, when you're hanging out with a bunch of friends and you smoke some marijuana, you spark it up. Seems to make you sort of pleasant, kind of funny, you know, lowers a few inhibitions. No major effects. I mean, what are the effects of having a glass of wine? It loosens you up a little, you know, things become a little bit funnier.
Same as a beer. I mean, that was my effect, you know. You just feel better. You get a little bit silly sometimes, but a couple of joints is not going to knock anybody dead. And incidentally, it is a communal thing. You pass the joint around. It's really kind of a different way of taking your alcohol or whatever you want to make you feel good, right?
And there's nothing wrong with that. We want people's lives to go well. Why shouldn't things that make people's lives go well be prevented? Why should we be prevented from getting a hold of them?
So if I was to smoke a few joints and jump in my car, am I going to be driving normal, or am I going to be like off in another world where, you know, everything's, you know, it doesn't seem real and you don't really care? I mean, it's your judgment. I mean, is it going to really mess me up where I think I'm driving 50 and I'm driving 90 or 20 or?
Well, it's going to impair you a lot less than being really drunk when you drive. But in either case, look, if we're concerned about people driving while stoned, then arrest people for driving while stoned. I mean, we don't want our surgeons doing surgery on their high. But what does that have to do with sort of banning the marijuana itself? We don't want our surgeons operating drunk. That doesn't mean we should prohibit alcohol. If you want to prohibit dangerous activities, do so. What does that have to do with marijuana or alcohol?
Now, say I've been smoking. How long does it take to get out of your body after that? I mean, where you're not, like, I know if you were drinking, you'd be drunk for a while, but how long will the effects stay in your body? For days, hours, minutes, or? I really don't know.
I don't know what the medical literature says on that. I do know, just in terms of anecdotes from my own experience, it doesn't last that long. But I do not know what the medical literature says on that.
Okay, I just, it's just some stuff that, but, if they legalize this, won't, somebody want cocaine legalized, and pretty soon they'll legalize that stuff, or, I mean, if they do one, it seems like they're just going to want to keep going on and on until everything's legalized.
Well, let me, Reed, do you mind if I just, take cocaine. I mean, who owns your body, you or the government, when you say that cocaine should be criminalized? I mean, do you own your body, or does the government own your body? If you own your body, why can't you put into it what you want?
I don't know, because I got to deal with a lot of people out in the real world, and if I get all messed up, I mean, I'm going to hurt somebody or mess them up too. So it's just, I don't know. It's
well, one, when you're on drugs, you don't lose your sort of free will or responsibility for actions. But two, look, the identical argument could be made for alcohol. Do you think we should prohibit alcohol?
Again?
With alcohol, I'm not much of a drinker. I run into a lot of people with one of my volunteer jobs that are driving with alcohol in them, and they have their family. It scares the living heck out of me, but I think alcohol, if you're driving with it, you should be arrested.
No argument here. Do you think it should be prohibited?
Maybe not prohibited, but
well, that's what we're talking about.
Once you're out in the public, which most people are going to be, I think, it should be prohibited.
Well, I mean, I don't know why you'd want to prohibit public drunkenness. I mean, if you're out walking around a bar, what's wrong with being drunk?
Yeah, but, somewhere it's going to lead, you're going to be with the public and you're going to do something dangerous, bad, or stupid, and I don't know. I mean, you're going to kill somebody sooner or later, I guess.
That's just not true. I mean, look, tens of millions of Americans drink regularly, and the vast majority don't go out and kill anyone. I mean, I appreciate what you're trying to say here. It's just it's not true.
Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you, caller. Send me a stamped envelope. I'll give you $5 off at the Lakeview which is a wonderful little restaurant at the foot of the hill here in Mayville. Well, Steve, that person apparently would like to go back to prohibition for alcohol, which has worked out in making a lot of criminals very rich, and including the Kennedys, I might add. Mr. Kennedy, the senior, made a bundle on bootlegging and scotch. He got a contract for scotch coming into the country. The founder of the Kennedy fortunes.
Yeah, it's as if we learned nothing from the 20s. I mean, I'm just amazed the sort of lack of any sort of learning curve. Does anyone really think we should go back to prohibiting alcohol? I doubt it. Certainly alcohol has larger health difficulties and is more dangerous to both the user and to others than is marijuana. So if we're going to legalize alcohol and we wouldn't want to revisit alcohol prohibition, why would we ever want to continue with marijuana prohibition? We might, for example, if you had very entrenched interests like correctional officers, large number of correctional officers or police officers whose jobs are in large part constituted by chasing down innocent drug users. But that's just a political calculation. That's not a justification for prohibiting this stuff.
I had a legislator on recently who shall go unnamed, and I said, well, you know, he was dead set against marijuana. And I said, well, why? He said, because it's illegal. I said, what? Well, change the law. It's that simple. Well, who made it illegal and why? And I said, he said, well, it's illegal. It's against the law. I said, so was women voting. And so was slavery. It was perfectly, it was illegal to stop it. It was, you know, come on here.
This is a legislator that should definitely not be in office. I mean, all sorts of things have been illegal over the years. Interracial marriage has been illegal.
Adultery.
In fact, marital rape was legal for years. Doesn't mean it should be legal. It was legal. The fact of the matter is that morality and law do not always track one another. And when in doubt, the law should permit you to engage in activity unless there's overwhelming evidence that it's going to either achieve better results or protect people's liberty to criminalize it. We're not always near that on this stuff.
Okay, and of course, a number of states have recognized the outrage, you know, of what's going on here. And good God, as you say, half the people in prison are there on minor drug charges. I've just got this strange sound. We're out of here. 30 seconds to wrap up.
Oh, all right. Well, I just think this is a disgraceful disrespect for American citizens to prohibit this stuff. We're not owned by the government. We own ourselves. And if we own ourselves, we can do what we want with our bodies and our lives. Marijuana prohibition flat out tramples all over that and our liberty.
Good. My comment is, if you want to take rat poison, I could care less. That's your business. All right. Steve Kershnar. Dr. Steve Kershnar is a professor at Fredonia. You may contact him anytime, and he will be happy to talk with you and help you out in whatever way he can. And thank you for appearing and giving up your Saturday morning for everybody out there.
Reed, it's been a real pleasure to be on your show, and I definitely enjoyed our conversation as well.
Well, maybe you'll come back when they legalize it.
I like that.
I should be alive. I want to thank some very special people who did a great job here. Chuck Kelsey, Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Randy Burt, Chris Ramaker, Jeff Zook, our chief engineer, and Don Zenz. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.